giving me the worst advice. Kamikaze crash like a suicide. I'm a lost boy, you know better. Please don't make this last forever. The voices in my head keep telling me that I'm insane, and maybe I'm a little bit that won't change. Hard clouds, hard times, bad weather. Please don't make this last forever. The voices in my head keep on telling me I'm gonna die. And I don't wanna talk about the trauma. They're telling me I'm fine, but we both know that's a fucking lie. I'm losing my mind, but I don't wanna talk about. Voices in my head keep on telling me I'm cursed. I'm paranoid. I don't wanna make it any worse. We're all gonna die, but first things first, I'ma take the world with me when they put me in the dirt. The voices in my head keep on telling me I'm cursed. I'm paranoid, I don't wanna make it any worse. We're all gonna die, but first things first, I'ma take the world with me when they put me in the dirt. Move! Trauma! They're telling me I'm fine, but we both know that's a fucking lie. I'm losing my mind, but I don't wanna talk about it. Keep on telling me to pray, cause I'm spinning like a carousel, circling the train. At the bottom of the bottle, I don't wanna feel the pain. I'm losing my mind, but I don't wanna talk about it. The voices in my head keep on telling me to pray, cause I'm spinning like a carousel, circling the train. Hit the bottom of the bottle, I don't wanna feel the pain, but that is all I got for now. I don't wanna talk about. The voices in my head keep on begging me to stay. If I pull the trigger now, then the demons go away. And I know my time is coming, so there ain't no time to waste. So that is all I got for now. I don't wanna talk about. The voices in my head keep telling me to choose a side. It's heaven or hell, like it's do or die. I'm a sad boy, you know better. Please don't make this last forever. The voices in my head keep telling me I'm not okay. It's feeling like a hurricane in my brain. Hard clouds, hard times, bad weather. Please don't make this last forever. The voices in my head keep on telling me I'm gonna die. And I don't wanna talk about the trauma. They're telling me I'm fine, but we both know that's a fucking lie. I'm losing my mind, but I don't wanna talk about it. Voices in my head keep giving me the worst advice. Kamikaze crash like a suicide. I'm a lost boy, you know better. Please don't make this last forever. The voices in my head keep telling me that I'm insane, and maybe I'm a little bit that won't change. Hard clouds, hard times, bad weather. Please don't make this last forever. The voices in my head keep on telling me I'm gonna die. And I don't wanna talk about the trauma. They're telling me I'm fine, but we both know that's a fucking lie. I'm losing my mind, but I don't wanna talk about. Voices in my head keep on telling me I'm cursed. I'm paranoid, I don't wanna make it any worse. We're all gonna die, but first things first, I'ma take the world with me when they put me in the dirt. The voices in my head keep on telling me I'm cursed. I'm paranoid, I don't wanna make it any worse. We're all gonna die, but first things first, I'ma take the world with me when they put me in the dirt. Move! Trauma! They're telling me I'm fine, but we both know that's a fucking lie. I'm losing my mind, but I don't wanna talk about it. The voices in my head keep on telling me to pray, 'cause I'm spinning like a carousel, circling the train. Hit the bottom of the bottle, I don't wanna feel the pain, but that is all I got for now. I don't wanna talk about the voices in my head keep on begging me to stay. If I pull the trigger now, then the demons go away. And I know my time is coming, so there ain't no time to waste. So that is all I got for now. I don't wanna talk about the voices in my head keep telling me to choose a side. It's heaven.
Mr. Bro, the brother of Mr. Beast, did a pretty reasonable
Two new IHOP lunch and dinner menu items for twice the goodness, twice the flavor, and twice the choice. Sirloin Salisbury steak and all-natural salmon. Perfect for lunch or dinner. Only at IHOP. Download the app and earn free food with every purchase.
During Walmart's Black Friday Deals for Days, every Monday is a huge deal. Get a $79 HP Chromebook, plus other hot deals. Join Walmart Plus and you can shop online 7 hours early. Head to Walmart's Black Friday Deals for Days.
We have
February.
But it's a cluster of
We don't
like,
have time.
There's not
Yeah.
time slots, so we don't even know
There are
who's
some-
announcing a game.
That's because they want you to watch the pregame show and not just not watch.
Well,
the
there
Yeah.
are some time slots. There are some people that
a
have
few,
already
but I
put
mean,
out,
some,
yeah.
I think Bandai, like Bandai Namco, would just say like their day and stuff. Like Square Enix has a slot, Xbox has a slot, Nintendo has a slot,
I
but a
don't
lot of
think
them are
we
just
will.
like,
Yeah.
So my opinion is, if it's all in the same week, it makes it easy to get all your content the
That's
same
true.
week. But are the announcements at the exact same time? Like if there's things overlapping,
Well,
like
there's-
that is
here's
where.
the thing. Like Keeley's show is claiming some of the E3 events as
Yeah.
his own events and vice versa. So it's like
We watched them
children.
fight over the Xbox event, remember? Because it's like falls right like at the start of E3, but towards like the middle of Summer Games Fest. So they were like,
Is he just restreaming it or something? Like
I don't know what
No,
they're
he's
doing
acting
with
like
that.
that shit is his.
He did- yeah, but
They're not really restreaming it as much as they're helping people find the content because
it's signal
nobody
boosting.
technically owns the
Okay.
rights to the Microsoft stream beyond
Right.
Microsoft. The ESA doesn't own broadcast rights. This isn't like NBC owns exclusive rights to
Yeah,
the
because
NBA playoffs.
I remember
Yeah.
last year a few companies were like, we're gonna have an event, and then he announced Summer Games Fest, and then all of a sudden the event was a Summer Games Fest.
But what
event.
happens
Yeah.
if Microsoft uses E3 branding on their stage and Summer Games Fest is like streaming
Yeah,
it?
right.
I mean, obviously, then we know it's.
I don't think he
E3's thing.
cares. I think he's really viewing the Summer Game Fest basically as a tent pole for the events that are transpiring over the next several weeks.
I'll give Jeff, the 10th. We'll see what he comes up with there, because he's the one who got the reveal for the Series X. So you never know what he
that's
comes
true.
up with. Yeah, you never know. And he did unveil Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, and that game was awesome. So
Yeah, and he will have good things on the 10th. It's not just going to be some shit show. It is something that is worth your attention.
there you go.
yeah.
Why? What's there, Nate?
Video games.
Switch Pro.
All right, we'll take your word for it, Nate. We'll
No,
check it
there
out.
are some good reveals for the Summer Game Fest.
Okay, you know what? I'll stream it just because Nate said it's worth watching.
All right, and when it proves quite valuable, I deserve a 30% cut.
Is that where Silent Hill is?
No.
It's gonna be Untitled
Switch
Goose Game
Pro.
too.
All right. Tell
If
you
it
what,
is,
Nate,
that'd be
if
awesome.
the Switch Pro is there, I tell you what, you'll get a cut.
that's fair.
No, the Switch Pro's not going to be at the Summer Game Fest. I said
There you
video
go.
games.
Tell you what, if Silent Hill's there, you get a cut.
No, Silent Hill's not going to be there. Different
Gear
video
Solid?
games.
Is Switch Pro going to be there?
We already covered that.
Okay.
Switch Pro 2.
Yes,
Second Switch.
Okay.
that
What
will
if the
be
Switch
there.
Pro is really a Wii U?
No.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go to Sony. All right. Let's start with this because this was an interesting week for Sony, wasn't it, Sean? I've seen a lot of Jim Ryan heads floating in people's thumbnails this past week. All right.
I feel like I might have started that.
You might have.
I've done that back before on something because I actually was looking through my Photoshop for that picture and I was like, oh, I already have it cut out and the eyes all augmented. This is great because I've used it before, but I had to use it again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk about this cross-gen controversy because a lot of people weren't too happy when they heard all of a sudden that some of these games that Sony has kind of been framing and I will say conveniently advertising during PS5 streams and stuff are coming to the PlayStation 4 as well. Mm-hmm. God of War being one, which I mean they never said where God of War was going to be playable, so that was like, all right, it's a PS4 game, okay. But I pointed out, and MVG saw it too, Gran Turismo 5 was marked as a PlayStation 5 exclusive in their trailer. It actually said PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I want to hear XBot Killer's take on this.
Well, he just said, I don't care what you say, cross-gen PS games are next gen.
Well,
okay.
No,
so then that means all the Xbox games are too then. So that defeats your whole argument. The problem is
that's
not
the point. Yeah.
Not so much that they're cross-gen games. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if Sony's like, hey, we're releasing a new PS2 game. Like, cool, okay, awesome. The problem is Jim Ryan fucking lied the entire time about it, and they did it for optics because they saw that people did not like necessarily or weren't too happy with Microsoft coming out and saying, oh yeah, all of our games for the first couple of years are going to be compatible with the Xbox One. And they saw people that like that. They're like, oh, well, we believe in generations. This is only possible through the power of the PlayStation 5. We're not interested in making PlayStation 4 games, yet you're making PlayStation 4 games in 2022 at the bare minimum, which is exactly what Microsoft is doing. So I don't care that the games are cross-gen. That's fine. I will buy it on the PlayStation 5 because that's the experience I want. The problem is when you lie about it and you fucking flat out lie about it, and like word is bond. Like once you start lying to someone, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. Like you're talking out your ass. So
I want to say,
wait a minute, hold up. What are you so angry for, bro? You still buying all their games and still supporting them. So who gives a shit if they lie?
Because I don't like liars. I don't because now going forward, his word means nothing to me.
Yeah.
But you're still supporting this company. So
what does it matter? What have I bought?
You just said that you're gonna buy all of the games on PS5.
If I choose to buy them, I mean,
RGT being like, let's talk business.
I mean, I understand what Sean's saying, though. It is a blatant kind of way to market and advertise, hey, this isn't going to be available on what you currently have, so you need to buy what we have that is new, that is coming out, because you're not going to be able to have it. And people kind of like look forward to these milestones. Surprised for me, like God of War, I was hoping would probably be one of the first exclusives, but also at the same time, like we have to think about how the past year went. This could be something to where, even though I know games have been in development, I don't know all the ins and outs of it like MVG would. But, I'm sure for a while, like making things exclusive, I think would also raise a tizzy because people would be like, we can't even get our hands on a PS5. So it's like, it's kind of like I think a lose-lose situation in general right now with the way that the shortages have been. And then also, yeah, people flat out do feel lied to in the sense of like, hey, I got to get this now because I'm not going to be able to get it. And then if it's limited stock also, we got to I got to make this happen. So it is kind of disappointing. But also at the same time, like, are we really surprised that a corporate head's going to be lying to us, about minuscule things like this?
And that's the thing is that, so I actually had some people.
I don't know if it's minuscule.
On Twitter, I had some people saying like, because sometimes people say I'm a bit of a Sony defender or a Sony pony and stuff, and I'll completely go to bat and say that this is BS and that it does kind of kill a little bit of the hype of the PlayStation 5, because I think one of the most exciting things of the next console generation is here is games that could not exist on the previous generation. Like the Switch games we love are the things that are better than anything that could have run on the Wii U or something. So now the fact that we're saying, oh yeah, it turns out the next 5 games or whatever they're coming to the PlayStation 5 are made to run on a PlayStation 4 as well. I don't know. Ratchet and Clank looks so good. I wish we were getting more experiences like that. So to me, it does kind of dampen the hype to be like, oh, this is all built on PlayStation 4 dev kits and upscaled to 4K or whatever. We'll see. But yeah, exactly. Sean's right in that this is blatantly lying. They're lying because they know that it'll sell consoles. They're just lying.
They stepped out of the way of things when remember when Microsoft said that they were getting beaten down online for like 2 weeks straight of just like, why are you doing all cross gen? And Sony was like, yeah, we believe in generations. So
see, that's where to go into like devil's advocate mode.
Oh, here we
there
go.
were always PlayStation 4 versions of these games. It could have just been a matter of Sony's original intent was that, yeah, we were building God of War and Gran Turismo 7 with the PlayStation 4. We were maybe planning that we were going to cancel these versions. We simply didn't. So maybe with Gran Turismo 7, is it misleading? Yes. But maybe their original intent wasn't to lie. It was, we actually didn't really have intentions to bring it to PlayStation 4. This was a late decision to bring it to that platform.
But that's what concerns me about that game, because it's Polyphony Digital. Are you really going to throw another system at them when it takes them like 8 years to put out a Gran Turismo game?
That's why the game got delayed a full year.
Dude, I don't think that game's coming out to 2023.
That's the one that's strange to me because it is coming out for the PS4 and it's probably not coming out, John, you're right, till 2023. Why wouldn't they just bin the PS4 version and put those resources all on the PS5? Because there's two teams working on this. There's the PS4 team and the PS5 team. So why wouldn't you take those resources and just focus on the PS5 version? Hopefully you can get the game out next year rather than 2023. Now you have to get two versions of that game. And we have to remember as well that the PlayStation 4 came out in 2013, right? Yep. Like, this is not a new system. It's a dog, honestly. It's not a great system anymore. The CPU is trash. The rendering is, it's last gen.
Hard drive.
And I think, there's going to be some struggles to get those games running at a good level of performance. Sony's going to do it because they're awesome at this stuff. You do question why they are focusing on this. I think it's more than just, there's 110 million PS4s out there and we want more sales. I feel like, there's something else here as well. But I don't know. I wasn't surprised when they announced this because, the Gran Turismo 7 one was a huge surprise, especially when you brought up the screenshot that said exclusive, because I'd forgotten about that. The Gears, the God of War one, I was always questioning whether that was cross-gen from the start because they had never committed to that one. So that one to me felt like it would be, a PS4 game. Yeah, because I feel like they started developing God of War almost immediately after God of War on the PS4. Like, I feel like they took like a 6-month break and they just went into development for the next game,
Yeah. The thing with this is, and a lot of people are realizing this is not like what Sony usually does. That's the thing that's throwing people off. And like, if you're a longtime Sony fan, you're probably confused right now as to what's going on with PlayStation. And it feels really different right now because they don't do first party cross-gen games. Like I was like, I brought this up earlier in the week. I was like, I don't remember them doing a lot of cross-gen stuff first party wise. I went back and looked and they don't. Like, this is like
the difference though is that architecture wise they can do it easier because PS3 that's the cell, right? So and like PS1 and PS2 very different. So I think that's the biggest thing here is. But
the thing that's throwing me off about that, even OJ, MVG mentioned to me, he was like, "Yeah, but all the third parties did it." Like, we had a lot of third party versions that went on the the PS3 and the PS4, or even back in the day the PS2 and the PS3. Like I almost feel like Sony could have done it back then if they wanted to, but it seems like Sony they're just taking this whole ship in a completely different direction right now, because then they also talked about PC gaming and they were like, well, PlayStation's still gonna be the best place to play on day one at launch.
It's almost like they got a new head of the company.
I'm telling you, man,
everything completely changed.
Dude, I think PlayStation's gonna look really different in 5 years.
I agree. And they'll still go out of their way to lie about things, though.
OG does bring up a good point about the architecture, though. That it's very similar now, obviously, compared to every generation. We were going from like a motion engine to cell, and it wasn't the same. But like, it's still strange because it's just not something Sony, like MVG brought up with the hard drive versus the SSD. Mark Cerny sat up on stage, told us about the shape of our ears and how awesome the SSD is for like an hour, right? So to me, he's trying to sell this thing. He's like, you're going to be able to fundamentally build these games differently. And now like 2/3 of Sony's first party games that take 4 or 5 years to make are cross-gen. And I mean, they're going to be limited by the PS4 because that's where they started.
So that's my biggest thought, and I'm just kind of throwing this out here mostly towards MVG. Is this just a development time problem? Because I think we've all heard developers talk about the fact that AAA games take longer and longer to make. Everybody wants stuff to be open world and gigantic and beautiful and have a million side quests. So the average game takes 4 or 5 years, whereas a lot of projects in the past were made in 2 years. Is this just partially that they were aiming for the PlayStation 5 before the PlayStation 5 was done, so it ends up being a high-end PS4 game that also runs on the PlayStation 5?
I mean, we don't know, right? But if I was to speculate what's happened here, development started on all of these games on the PS4, on the PS4 Pro. I think that's something that we can agree on. For me, it sounds like they got PS5 development kits at some point during the development, but the main version of the game at that point was still the PS4 build. And I think the delay for me is now that they have PS5 kits, and they've probably had them for about a year, maybe longer than a year. I think now they're trying to make these games next gen, right? So they're putting the PS5 enhancements on top of those games. The PS5 builds are going to be the best version of those games, no question about it. But because you have to focus on 2 different sets of hardware, then it really does, blow out your development time. So yeah, if I was to speculate, I would say that they are spending a lot of time getting the PS5 version ready. I think if there was no PS5 released right now, we would probably see both of those games come out. Well, maybe not Gran Turismo 7 this year, maybe next year, but I would say God of War would definitely come out this year. I would say that Horizon would definitely come out this year if they only had to focus on the PS4 versions. But adding that extra system in, it just complicates things significantly.
You know what's interesting is they technically could have just released the PS4 version and then come out with a patch later on for the PS5 if they really wanted to make it this holiday.
I don't think that would fly though with these games. I see what you're saying. I just don't think that would fly. I think that would piss off people more than Jim Ryan's, stuff from this week. I think that would be. That could be very dangerous, I think.
When did God of War 2 come out? That was near the PS3. Wasn't that around that time?
The very end.
Out like the launch week, or just a week before the PlayStation 3 launch.
Because I was thinking about that. I'm like, that's like around. I guess so we're later in. Because the only game I could think of at the time that came out was Gran Turismo 6. By the way, Gran Turismo 6 came out the week after, or 3 weeks after the PS3 came. That's how long we were waiting for Gran Turismo 7, by the way. Anyway, that came out after the PS3 had been out already. Or the PS4 had been out. It's just it's so different now with PlayStation in this. But the issue I'm running into is people are saying, oh, there's not a lot of PlayStation 5s out there. That's the biggest reason they're doing this.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, you obviously they have to cater to the 110 million as well because no one can find a PS5. But they keep saying it's the best selling system in the US. They keep saying we've sold as many PS5s as we have PS4s this time. We're going to try to match that going into this year. So they keep talking up the sales numbers, but then they're like, we also got a release on the 110 million platform as well. It feels like that success of the PlayStation 4 they're having a hard time breaking away from that.
There's a thing though. They sell a lot, but let's just be real. There's scalpers and bots that are buying up all these. Software is not moving, so they need these PS4 versions. Software is just not selling. Demon Souls is not selling millions of copies that we would see Dark Souls sell on PlayStation, so they get all those kickbacks, right? It's just not. They don't have the software. Returnal's not moving that software. Not saying that they're making these decisions on the fly. They're not. They've made them in advance, but I think they kind of anticipated that, or they're adjusting to that. It's just not. There's a bunch of bots and scalpers that have a bunch of PS5s, or there's people that just simply can't. They buy the PS5 and they can't afford all the software that's coming, and they need to make these games on PS4 so they can make back. They're not trying to make a little bit of money or just their money back. They're trying to make a lot of money, like big billion-dollar business money. So there's a bunch of people that buy PS4 that's still active. As long as they see a bunch of users on there still active buying games, they're going to make the games on there.
Well, like
if they
Miles
can do
Morales. Miles Morales sold so much on PlayStation 4, and I think they went, all right, well, let's keep making a PS4.
Exactly. Yo, and check this out, man. Like, if you look at the like Ratchet and Clank, like that would be tough to do, right? Because of the way that the gameplay works. So like how you pull into like the different dimensions or whatever. Horizon doesn't do that. Horizon Zero Dawn, it's like it's just the open world. You go underwater. Like they don't have anything like that, so it's easier for them to do that. Maybe even like Returnal, it would have been tougher for Returnal to be on PS4 because of like the fast teleporting or whatever the case is, right? So I think that they're also looking at it like, hey, if we can do it, and it's a game that's huge on PlayStation, like that's already big, like 10 million seller, we got to kind of get it out on there because we need to move this like a lot. So. That's what I think, at least. That's what, from a marketing standpoint, a bit like that's what I'd be thinking. If I was Jim Ryan, I'd be like, "Yo, this needs to happen." You know,
I do think this was a pivot, though. Like, I do believe that Jim Ryan said we believe in generations at the time because I think that's what the messaging was, that they were going to only focus on exclusive. But somewhere along the way, things have changed, and OJ's probably right. It's probably has a lot to do with the fact that, the average person can't get a PS5 right now, and they may not be able to get one for another year and a half. We don't know how long the shortage is going to last, and you've got 110 million PlayStation 4s out there. Yep. Tap into it. These games did start development on PS4 hardware, but why not just bring those front and center and make that part of the discussion now? And I think that's what they've done, honestly.
Yeah, a key thing that I think people are kind of ignoring in this topic is, yes, Sony misled and lied with the marketing. It was purely for optics. They let Microsoft take the bullet over this entire subject matter. Now, in 2 years, 3 years, is anyone going to give a damn who said what about exclusive platforms for these games if the games are good? No. Ultimately, the games are going to come out. If they're good, we're going to enjoy them, and no one's going to give a damn if it was on PlayStation 4 and PS5, or if it was just PS5 exclusive, or even if it was just PlayStation 4 exclusive. The moment, wow, Sony misled us.
Are we going to have? Are we going to have? Are we going to have like? Remember the issue with Horizon Zero Dawn at the time? Because I remember it was brought up a couple of times that there were things they wanted to do in the game that they couldn't because of the PS4. I think these are in different interviews and stuff. Like, are they going to have solved that on this version, like with flying creatures, for example, or is that still going to be limited?
I mean, I guess something we'll find out once the game releases and when they do some interviews about it. But like right now, we can go into it assuming that these games are being held back by the PlayStation 4.
I mean, the games, I mean, I assume Horizon's going to be good. God of War is going to be good. Like, I don't think that's going to be an issue. But won't there always be that thought of, could have been better? Like, that's, I feel like what a lot of people are going to sit there and wonder. Also,
there's just reinstalls, though, and my belief is that these systems could have just been launched, like, delayed still. True. I still think that. I still think that this could have been delayed.
Yep.
I mean, I'm going to be real curious what the talking point is if they end up releasing like Horizon cross-gen, Gran Turismo cross-gen, and God of War cross-gen. What if they end up selling like double the numbers of software on PS4? Like, what the hell will the talking point be where it's like, yeah, there's a bigger install base, but it'd be really weird if these games got outsold on last gen, because I don't think that's ever happened before, other than the Atari 2600 or whatever, which was outselling its sequel consoles.
How do they deal with the pricing and upgrade structure for these games?
Oh, that's gonna be a whole nother Jim Ryan thumbnail for Sean. That's gonna be a whole
dollar
other
signs
thing,
on the
man.
eyes.
I mean, it's 60 for the PS4 version, 70 for the PS5 version, and what, there's a $10 upcharge if you want to upgrade? Is that how it works? Or is it a free upgrade and I just buy the PS4 version?
Or is it $70 for just both of them?
Oh, they're gonna go 70 on the PS4 version too? That would be
you want that to happen. Everybody wants that.
That's a video. That's a video right there.
To happen.
Set up the lights. That's a video.
Yeah, I'm wondering how this happened. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, that's the thing I thought of immediately.
Chat, by the way, chat. I'm just joking. I'm joking. Okay.
Immediately that came to mind though, was like, hold on, we're doing this cross-gen stuff. How? Because we've changed. If it was just 60 across the board and we didn't move up to 70, I'd be like, all right, that should be pretty straightforward. This is going to be weird because we see what it takes just to transfer save data between the PS5 and the PS4 older games. Like, how's all this going to work out? All right. Am I going back to college so I can learn how to transfer Horizon Forbidden
Cerny on the
West?
phone. Get him on the cast, bro. We need Cerny on. He's gonna explain it to us how all this works. On the cast, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to be an interesting next year or so for how all this is going to go down. But if we're still talking about the PS4 in 2023 with Gran Turismo 7 coming out, also Gran Turismo 7 I thought was going to be one of the big games to take advantage of VR, and they're building it for the PS4 as well. It's like
for VR.
Oh gosh, that headset. God. I don't want to put that headset back on. That thing is, I'm ready for PSVR too.
I forgot I owned a PSVR and I was cleaning up my closet and I found the headset and went, oh yeah, I own PSVR.
Dude, compared to some of the newer headsets now, I think it's archaic. So I'm ready. I figured the new Gran Turismo would show that off, and it feels like Polyphony Digital's gonna get crushed. That game's never coming out. That game's never coming out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have all right, now there was another part of the Q&A.
I don't have any updates. Still haven't closed. Larry, are we still on for 3?
I'm on the phone.
When you and your team need space to work.
I didn't get that attachment.
I'm sending it. And a place to eat.
Carl, is that mackerel?
No, it's trout. Has anyone seen my mayonnaise? Oh, found it.
That I thought was really interesting. And that has to do with Sony and PC, because they were this whole Q&A. All right, first of all, this Q&A was basically just a press release. Let's be real.
Yeah, true.
There were so many times I was reading through and I was like, I would have at least asked a follow-up question here on this. And they're just like, let's move on. All right, so they brought up the idea of PC. Right? How does PC fit into the worldview of PlayStation Studios moving forward? And this is from Herman Holst. I want to emphasize that PlayStation will remain the best place to play our PlayStation Studio titles at launch. But we do value PC gamers, and we'll continue to look at the right times to launch each game. And they go on to talk about Days Gone and all of this. I think in 2 to 3 years, we're going to see a same-day release on PlayStation and PC.
What?
With one of their first party games.
I disagree. I think
so. I think it's going to happen. And I think it's going to start with a live service game. So let's say they do Last of Us Factions. I think that's going to go to both PC and PlayStation same day.
You know, but that sucks because I know for a fact I'd buy it on PC over PlayStation in a heartbeat.
And they'll be like, I'll take your money. Thank you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know how much money they made off of Days Gone? They made.
Did they make it?
Well, it was on Horizon. They made a 250% return on investment.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. They made a lot of money on that's and they sold it at $50.
Yeah, that's why that's one of the biggest reasons they got such a return. And the live service game, they might launch Factions as a free game. It might just be a free-to-play thing. That might be what they do, because they had that big slide up for investors to see, and they were like, "We're going to do mobile gaming with the PlayStation brand, which means games like God of War and stuff will go to not the exact same ones, but they'll have their own versions of it. Maybe they do like a God of War gotcha game. I don't know, but like they'll do
gotcha of War.
No, I can't believe casually mentioned that and just passed on.
They'll do that kind of stuff, but I'm telling you, I think they're looking at this PC side and they're like, could the next Uncharted live service game that I bet you they're working on, a multiplayer Uncharted game or something, could that be a PC game that is day one?
Like, why are you saying this? And I mean this just because this seems so baffling. I never considered, like, I'm not butthurt. I promise I'm not butthurt. But what the fuck? My thing is it just because you think they're just the gaming division isn't making enough, and this is their way to, if they launch it day and date? Because it seems like it would hurt PlayStation consoles a lot.
I think right now Jim Ryan is doing anything possible to figure out how they beat the software sales and the revenue of the PS4 over the next 5 years. I think he's realizing, wait a minute, PC gamers will overspend for some of our games.
True,
Let's do that.
Well, and with mods and stuff, I feel like games sell longer on PC. PC games have a very long tail, and since it's all digital, like you don't have the used games getting resold and stuff. So yeah.
I think they're going to come up with their own PC launcher. I think you're going to have to sign into their own launcher. That way they don't have to give Steam 30%. And I think they'll tie in PlayStation Now with it as well. And that way they can figure out how to charge PC gamers a monthly fee for something.
This is so cute, though. This is exactly what I said that I figured that they would have to do once they start seeing Xbox do well.
Yeah,
they can bring their games over. Like they need to have their own version of what Xbox has. I mean, it makes sense.
I think this is their strategy over the next, I'm going to say 5 years, but mostly running through this generation. They're slowly getting to the bottom. Why do you think, like, let me ask you this. Why is Uncharted 4 going to PC next? Why not the trilogy 1 through 3 that was already ported to PS4? Why not just do that?
I maybe they'll do that next. Maybe they're just doing things that are the most recent, so they just still have the raw code still laying around on hard drives.
I think they're testing a lot of this stuff to see how it goes, and then I feel like they're slowly going to work up to a day one release on PC.
Someone said Dreamcast guy's head is exploding. Yes, it is, just because I've never thought of this. I do think you're winning me over to it, and yes, I mean honestly, it is free money. Like, why the hell not? Especially because, as people have said a couple of years ago in E3, people saw all the PlayStation booths. All the games are actually running on PCs anyways. So yeah, I mean, why not sell it on there? It's just, it's crazy to think about. I don't know. It's baffling to think about. But I mean, maybe you're right.
I kind of wonder. The reason I don't think they're running face first into it is because they're trying to figure out if it would affect their PlayStation console sales.
Yeah,
is what they're trying. But like at this point, they can't keep them in stock anyways.
Yeah,
exactly. So they can't even gauge that right now. So they're kind of just like, well, we're making money on it. Let's move Uncharted now. Let's move Days Gone. Let's move Horizon. Let's see what happens. And they keep selling on PC. So
yep,
they're going to keep porting and they're going to keep overcharging because they just give Uncharted 4 away like it's water now, online. They're just like, here you go, here's Uncharted 4. But they're going to charge PC gamers $40 or $50 for it.
It's strange to think that the games will objectively look and run and play better on PC. So it's weird to think about, like, there will be, because I mean, PCs are just stronger. So it's going to be weird to see, like, 8K God of War or whatever. Like, man, that's crazy.
I think the issue we have right now with that is Horizon still hasn't received a patch for PS5. And it blows my mind because on PC, they're, 120, 140 frames or whatever. But on PS5, they're stuck at 30 still. It's weird that they haven't gone back and fixed that because Insomniac went back and took care of Ratchet, made that 60 frames. But it's weird they're not doing it for things like Horizon. Days Gone looks pretty good, obviously, on PlayStation 5. Now looks great on PC, but I'm trying to figure out what's after Uncharted because now we're starting to get to the point where they're getting closer and closer to some of these more recent releases.
Better be Bloodborne.
Oh, if it's Bloodborne, that's going to be amazing. I hope it's Bloodborne. Cool. That would be outstanding. But that'd be too cool, so they probably won't do it. They'll probably Knack 3. You know what? Give Knack 3. See if PC gamers will pay $50 for Knack 2. Let's see. Let's test
$50 you get Knack 1 and 2 combined.
I was gonna say give PC people Knack 3. Give it only to PC as some weird experiment.
Let's see how serious they are about this whole thing. Let's try it. So I mean, at this point, they have some of their first party stuff slated. I think it's going to be a live service game first. I think it might be a Factions or an Uncharted multiplayer game. That would be my guess. So we'll see what happens when those get announced. Any last thoughts on Jim Ryan and PlayStation cross-gen from anyone?
Jim Ryan.
Time will tell.
Click is like excited. Click's excited.
It's not a good look, but
what do you mean?
It's not a good look, but Sony always wins, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's Sony water.
Sony always wins.
I'm not excited. I think it's, I don't know. At this point, it's just time will tell, and I think people will look at the way people speak in interviews differently, and kind of not take everything as the ultimate truth right away, and kind of see how the practices play out versus the actual words. Actions speak louder than words, I feel like.
I'm excited for PC PlayStation games.
Oh yeah, no, I'm flat out like when we were talking about, with PAX coming out, I was just like, Sony's gonna see that this is awesome and they're gonna want their own, and that's kind of what's happening.
That's why I didn't get upset at Jim Ryan, because I was like, I already knew that they were gonna go back. And Sony's always done this. This is like a typical thing. So it's like
we gotta read between the lines. We gotta read between the lines now with Jim Ryan. All right, we gotta read things 4 times right now.
I even look at like the Herman Hulst or whatever. I don't know. His interview, and what he says about Japan, and I'm like, okay, dude, like,
they have Team Asobi.
I just expect it. I already know, so it's like it's not that big of a deal.
I kind of think Team Asobi is going to try to build their own Mario Galaxy basically now. They're given that budget and they're like, do what you got to do. So
the problem is that they got rid of. He's like, oh, it's very important. It's this, but then they got rid of all the talent.
Right.
They didn't re-sign them. It's not like they didn't want to go. They would have been okay going into Team Asobi, but they didn't re-sign them. They said, nope. You guys can just bounce. So they let go of all that talent that made all those games. And, oh, we care about Japan. No, you don't. But it's okay. It's no big deal.
They'll keep Team Us because I think that's located. They're gonna have that big studio in Tokyo, but I feel like that's like their main. Maybe 2 or 3 games come out of there over the next 3 years. I don't know.
I hope
we'll
so.
see.
I like Astrobot. I think if they make Astrobot into more than just like
Astrobot should be like a big mascot for Sony.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like a big platform, like their own like Galaxy or whatever. Because it already has a bunch of mechanics that are like from like that you see like in Sunshine or like you see in other Mario games. So they can just do more and put it not VR or make it VR and also make it regular. Because I know it began on VR or whatever. Yep. But yeah, I'd be down for that. I think Team Asobi's cool, but it's just like hopefully they do more than just. I just wish they didn't let go of all that talent. I think they could have made those games even better. There's stuff like in Gravity Rush that those guys could have really made something cool with Astrobot, right? If you had like the Gravity Rush guys around, or if you had some of the other dudes that have been around at their oldest first party studio, like it's like getting rid of the Mario team or something. Obviously, the Mario team makes more. They sell more, but it's their oldest first party studio. Yeah. So it just kind of
you gotta establish that character. I think Astrobot could be a good character for him. Have Astrobot be around like the PlayStation logo at the beginning of some games and
that'd be so cute.
Sure, why not?
Sackboy was gonna be that at one point. Yeah, I know. So into Little Big Planet when I bought that day one. I thought Sackboy was gonna be like that dude, and then like he just like
there feels like there's something wrong with just a small creature made of burlap doing stuff versus an actual
Astrobot looks cool and futuristic.
At the time, it was cool, right? Didn't you guys all think Little Big Planet was like? No,
I like Little Big Planet when it came out.
I thought it was amazing.
I did. Yeah. I thought it was cool.
Guess it was just me.
Let's go over to the super chats here. Jesus Christ left a super chat. Said, "What is everyone thinking about Breath of the Wild 2's name?" What do you think the name?
Breath of the Wild 2.
I mean, if just to pull some out of my butt, it'd be cool if it's called something like Fallen Kingdom or The Rise of Hyrule or something dramatically that's short and sweet.
Park.
Yeah.
Fallen Kingdom.
I actually forgot that was a Jurassic Park thing. You're right. Well, you can't use that.
Anything like I always had this theory at the beginning that like they were like Ganon was like betrayed by the royal family or something about like having the royal family have like skeletons in the closet, quite literally. So something like that. Like someone I think had like leaked a Nintendo Direct a while ago, and it was like leaked as like was it Sorrow of the Forgotten Hero or something like that? It just sounded so cool.
I hope they go with something like the tone like Majora's Mask, where it's like really dark and sad. I hope that's what they go with this one, and like you get that
pity for him. Like what if he was like actually like used for something? I don't know, but
we'll see with the title. I mean, we'll hopefully
Breath of the Wild 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Just be breathe harder.
Swift Miles says, "What niche GameCube IP do you want revived?"
Iced.
Eternal Darkness.
Geist, I thought about Geist for a minute there. That's a good one.
Eternal Darkness. There's no other
Eternal Darkness. What'd you say, MG?
I said Eternal Darkness.
Okay, cool. Eternal Darkness. Yeah. I do like the idea of Geist though, Sean. That's a good one.
I just want more 2D Zelda. I don't care what it takes. I want more 2D Zelda.
Really?
I want more offshoot Pokemon games like Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness. Bring those type of games back.
Okay. This is from Truly Epic. Is Ubisoft at E3 this year? If so, who's going to be the one brave enough to stream it? No, well, not me. Someone else.
We were just talking about
touching that.
You can wait. Hold up. Here's the thing. That's the Ubisoft Forward, right? Yes. I streamed one of it, and other people streamed them, and they had no issue. However, the only problem, it's Just Dance. That is the game. So if you are going to stream it, turn it off, shut off the camera, just don't do Just Dance. That is the isolated problem is Just Dance. So just keep that in mind.
Don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch that because I know they're going to put Sam Fisher in Just Dance or something stupid. So
about time.
Not going near it. I can't imagine Ubisoft announcing anything that would be that exciting for me anyway, looking at their lineup. And
Mario plus Rabbids 2, what if that gets announced?
It's the one time you're not watching that they announce a brand new Splinter Cell.
Brand new Splinter. Yep, that's where it would be, right there.
Right.
Yep.
Ubisoft is actually bringing us the next Star Fox game.
See, like something like if they had some cool new IP with Nintendo collaborators, that would be cool. But Splinter Cell is the one where I'd be like, yep, of course I didn't stream for that. But
I mean, I don't trust them with Splinter Cell anymore. If they do, it'd be a weird reboot cell phone game called Dark Missions.
This is from Zoob saying, fun fact, Aloy, Ellie, and MJ are fine. Jose says, hi guys, love the podcast. Question, why hasn't Falcom been discussed as a possible Microsoft acquisition? Big JRPG studio with a lot of good IP.
Well, wait, hold up. First of all, they're not a big JRPG studio. They're actually really small. They're about 40 to 50 people. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, what's the point of buying Falcom? Like, I guess if you want to enhance your own Japanese offerings, I guess, but what is the benefit? And the third point is, does Falcom want to be bought by them? You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe, but you can't just buying Japanese companies is not something that you could just go do because they're like a hardcore Japanese company. So there's a number of issues with that. But yeah, they're not as big as you think that they are. They're just a small studio.
Platt says, OJ, you're right about Scarlet Nexus. I played that demo and immediately pre-ordered. It's going to be slept on. Also, are you on the Spawncast? That's $5.
Yeah, I'm on the Spawncast, and I'm glad that you like it, man. Yeah, Scarlet Nexus is definitely going to be a sleeper type of hit game. I mean, I don't think it's going to review super, super well. It's going to probably be like low 80s and all that. But, I mean, I still think it's going to be like a ton of fun. Like, I still think it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
This is from George saying, last year, Nick Robinson made multiple videos on Super Monkey Ball and how that there's apparently one in the works. Any chance we hear about that at E3? Are we getting a new Super Monkey Ball?
I mean, a product listing leaked a few months ago.
Yeah.
Entitled, it's either a HD remaster of the original 2 Super Monkey Balls, or it's a brand new Super Monkey Ball. So we'll find out.
You know what? I would be very curious to see the reception of a new Super Monkey Ball online, to see sales and all this. See if people remember Super Monkey Ball.
Super Monkey Ball 99.
Monkey Ball 2.
That was pretty cool back in the GameCube days when that dropped.
Super Monkey Ball 99. Everyone competes to beat the levels first.
And that's Jordan. That's what it needs to be. I bought what is the one on Switch, the Banana Blitz or whatever, and I played like 30 minutes of it because I feel like a lot of them are the same. If they did something like that was online Battle Royale Monkey Ball, yeah, I'd play that. But otherwise, I don't care.
Yeah, I guess.
You guys wouldn't want like the single player Monkey Ball and all that?
No. Not anymore.
No, I still would. I like that stuff.
I like Super Monkey Ball 2 is my favorite. I was sad about Banana Blitz being the only one, but come on, Geeky Monkey.
Matt Anumi says everyone mad at Nate this week needs to direct their hate towards Bloomberg's crappy clickbait reporting. Silent Hill win.
No, be mad at Nate.
They don't have to be mad at Bloomberg. If you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at the people who actually said it's coming June 3rd. Bloomberg never gave a specific date. I never gave a specific date. Most outlets that reported it and corroborated the Bloomberg report didn't give a specific date. Be mad at the outlets that said June 3rd, this is happening. They gave you an exact time and date of anticipation. That did not happen. So, I mean, maybe that's what people, or find an outdoor hobby and redirect some of your energy towards
Just listen to MVG, okay? He's got it on lock.
Don't be mad. Just go outside and
MVG will put the tweet out if the hype gets too out of control. He's got you covered.
Yep.
I need to be angry.
For disappointment.
Just touch grass. Next time you're about to write a angry comment, go touch some fucking grass.
No, I'm mad.
This is from PTP. Nate, biggest MLB baby, Machado or Carlos Gomez? Also, which franchise would you like to be revived for an E3 announcement?
Machado.
What would you like?
Machado.
What franchise would you like to be revived for an E3 announcement?
Geist.
I have a couple
you
of
and
options.
this Geist.
I love Geist.
What do you got, Jordan?
Fucking
Have
amazing.
you heard of a little game called
Chameleon
Croc
Twist?
or Chameleon Twist?
I knew it was coming. I thought you were going to say Gex. You didn't say Gex. I thought Gex was coming after that.
Gex is all right. He's on the list, but he's not on my top part of the list.
Revive for E3. I'm gonna go with Mega Man Legends.
It's gotta be like
that's
Star
not gonna
Fox.
happen.
Revive seems like an open thing to say. They could technically revive Deep Down, and they could actually release it. So that would be.
How about Scalebound? Scalebound. Let's do that.
F-Zero.
Revive Scalebound.
Yeah, they could
F-Zero.
revive Scalebound.
F-Zero.
Maybe,
Metroid.
you know what? Maybe they just give Ubisoft F-Zero. They're like, here, you make the F-Zero game. We don't care.
Come on, you can't tell me like if F-Zero didn't launch, people wouldn't be like making posts about Captain Falcon's butt all over again.
It would sell 1 million copies.
It's sell 2 million. Calm down, bro. It's sell 2. No.
I think F-Zero would do all right. I think F-Zero would do sales wise. It'd do all right.
And any classic Nintendo franchise that comes back, like let's say Star Fox or Kid Icarus or they'd all do okay.
This is the best chance for these games to actually do well. Oh, well, hold on. Metroid's the test. All right, we'll see how Metroid's
gonna do great. Right,
It's about Chibi Robo, but this time he's on fire.
Let's see how Metroid does first. Then we'll talk about some of these other franchises.
I want to hear Sean's take on that. What do you think?
Oh god.
No, it's not. It's not gonna do good.
Hold on. What'd you say? Your Metroid's not gonna do well?
Sales wise, no.
Metroid Prime 4 is in trouble already.
We've had this conversation four
We've had a
times.
conversation, and we also need a figure. We need a numerical value of what is considered well.
The best
million.
It ain't selling 5 million. but it's not-
The
it's
best-selling
not
Metroid game.
Just made up something.
The best-selling Metroid
That's
game
not
is only like what?
2.8 mil, I think.
Yeah, it's only 2.8 million.
I bet
Hate
this
on the game. Hate the players.
I'll say that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be the best-selling Metroid. I'll make that prediction.
Okay.
I mean, okay, it might sell 3 million, maybe.
Yeah,
I think that's reasonable. 3 to 4
I think
million.
it'll
I
get-
think it's
yeah.
reasonable. But it's
5
not going
million?
to be. It's not going to do. It's not going to do numbers like a
New
lot of
Super
other
Mario
men-
Bros. U Deluxe.
Yeah, it's not going to do those. It's not going to break 10 million.
So Metroid Prime 4 U.
No.
I'm gonna say
that'll work.
6.8 million solid.
I will say 3.5. And that's me being very generous. That's me.
I'll
being
say
very generous.
$1.
Which Metroid is this?
Metroid Prime 4.
3 Metroid or Prime 4?
Prime 4.
Oh.
I'm not a Metroid hater. I look
I'm
at
gonna go-
statistics and data.
I'm gonna go 5 million units
Your
on Metroid Prime 4.
statistics
How are
and
we
data are
giving-
so old.
How are we giving sales
That's the
potential of a game that all we've seen is the logo?
PNG.
We know nothing
Look
of
at how
concept.
mad
We don't
these
know the
motherfuckers
visuals.
are
We
in
know
the
nothing about the
chat.
game beyond a logo, and it's called Metroid Prime 4.
I don't care. I'm
We're
giving the
sitting
guess.
to sell 6 million copies.
I don't
So
get
it
it.
said, you're sad, RGT, and very wrong.
How am I wrong? I'm basing it literally on previous Metroid entries
Yes,
on
chat.
Nintendo platforms, on successful
You don't
platforms such as the
understand the
Game Boy
Switch.
Advance, such as the Nintendo DS, such as the Wii. None of those games sold over 3 fucking million. But now all the fucking
Switch
sudden,
effect.
everyone's gonna be like, "Holy shit, it's fucking Metroid! I love that." Come on, be reasonable.
This is great.
Also, to the original
It's bad
Super
and
Chat
wrong.
question, what do we consider like a revival for like an E3? Like, if Square came out and they're like, "Oh, here's Final Fantasy VIII in the version of remake," does that fall under that criteria? Just so I can come up with a game.
Yes, I would say yes. Yeah, sure.
Oh. If I was gonna think, I was gonna say like something like a Chrono Trigger or like a Final Fantasy VI or something.
Chrono Trigger would be a revival, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, if they didn't just port it, because we've had it ported several times. If they were just like, here it is in HD 2D format, something like that, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I guess revival.
Yeah, I was thinking
happy.
more of like a classic Final Fantasy or like a Chrono Trigger type of thing.
Mhm, yeah.
Sure. Sure. What if they got something from Japan that never came over, like Bahamut Lagoon,
I was about to say it. Yeah.
HD 2D treatment, fully translated, ready to go.
Or they should do that. What was that PlayStation 1 game where you could fight as the Final Fantasy characters, but it was really like a puzzle?
Era Guys,
Yes.
King of the
Yes.
Ring.
King of the Ring. That's yeah.
That fantastic game.
I genuinely like it. It's terrible, but I really like it.
Is that going to be at the Square? Let's
hope. Let's hope.
Let's hope.
This is from Fish Fan saying, thanks for another great show, Spawn Crew. Any good eats this week? RGT. Also, sorry about the Knicks. They had a good run.
Man, my uncle's party was pretty fucking wild, and there was a lot of good food there. Grandma made 9 pizzas. There was burgers. Some motherfucker made some brisket. And it was some really good. It was really good brisket, and there was like some it was like chili, not chili, but like what's the word I'm thinking? It was a corn, but like the corn had like stuff on it. Like it was corn on the cob, but it was like
a Cajun corn.
Yes, that's the word. I was Cajun, not chili. Yeah, the Cajun corn was really good. There wasn't many cannolis though, and like I was sitting there.
Disappointed in the lack of cannolis.
No, I got mad because I'm sitting there and like my grandma's like, all right, watch your little cousin or whatever the fuck he is. It's my cousin's kid.
Oh my
And
God.
he was like eating some bread, so I'm sitting there watching him eat, and then like this dude comes up and just grabs this cannoli, and I'm like, oh shit, I think that was the last one, and I got like really mad, but then I found one hidden, and I was really happy.
I picture you be like, where the hell is the cannoli? And also, while I'm angry, Metroid is not selling more than 3 million copies.
Wait, hold on. Where was the cannoli? Where was it?
They had like the
one
the
cannoli
kitchen table was like was the dessert trays, so you had to like look on the various dessert trays because people were like mixing shit up. It was crazy. There was like 65-70 people there, and it was raining and it was cold, so there was 3 parties going on. There was like the normal party for like family and like people who didn't want to party all that much, which was in the house. If you were like a light partier, you went into the garage, and then if like you were throwing the fuck down, you went into the shack, and like that's where shit
So
got
here's how we can figure this out, Sean. Okay, about Metroid.
Go on.
Okay, so you said 3 million copies, right?
Yeah, I think that's a very fair number.
So if you think Metroid Prime 4 is going to sell more than 3 million copies, hit the like button. And if you think it's going to sell less, hit the dislike button.
You'll be in good shape here.
We'll see what happens. All right. Like the video if you think it's going to sell above 3 million. Dislike it if you think it's going to sell less than 3 million. And we'll see what happens there. All right. We'll give it 10 minutes and we'll check it to see.
Likes are going up.
You might have a shot, Sean. I'll say.
You can go ahead and hit the dislike button real quick. No.
Hey, the likes just jumped up like 100. You people are foolish. Look at sales data. Think with data, not your emotions. That's what's wrong with everyone nowadays.
I feel like Metroid is going to sell 10 million copies.
Like, fuck, man. I'm just looking at data here.
It really depends on the game. I think it really depends on the game and how Nintendo markets it. I mean, if it's bad, then it's not going to do well.
I don't think it's
really
good. I think it's going to be a great game. I just don't think it's going to sell well. Just like most Metroid games are great fucking games that never sell well.
Based on what, Sean?
Data.
What?
Previous releases.
So the only reason I think it's going to sell, I do honestly think it's going to sell a lot, and I think it's just because
growing up like 400 likes.
The only reason why is
crazy.
The Switch fan base is so ravenous. Like so many Switch games sell more than I ever would have thought. Like fucking what is the stupid Rice and Rain? What is that stupid game?
I think that was a million.
Rice and Ruin.
That
was a million.
That sold 1 million copies. I
Wasn't that
definitely.
across all platforms?
But what if Metroid Prime 4 is just a sequel to Federation Force?
You shut your whore mouth.
Yeah, really.
And a little too preemptive with these predictions based on a logo.
But it's not based off of what they said.
We don't know that, OJ. We don't.
I would pop that hard drive out, put another one in just to see if there's an issue there, because you can swap them in and out if you need to, but
Thanks to Chase, Angie's not sweating this text since there's 0 overdraft fees if she overdraws by $50 or less. And Kyle? Well, he's